Jim Leonhard, the Wisconsin defensive coordinator. Outstanding track record at Wisconsin. I mean, his consistency since becoming their defensive coordinator is amazing. I believe off the top of my head, Kyle, and I can't spit his resume out off the top of my head, but off the top of my head, Kyle, I think he had 6 seasons maybe at Wisconsin defensive coordinator. 5 of the 6, Wisconsin was a top 10 defense national. 5 of the 6. That's incredible, particularly when you throw in the fact that he's young. He's new. He went from the NFL in 2014 to a college position coach in 15 and 16, and then a DC in 17. So 2 years after leaving the National Football League as a player, he's already a coordinator in the Big Ten. Yep. And then, like I said, and was the Broyles Award winner his first year as defensive coordinator. Just an outstanding track record. The problem with Jim Leonhard, there's 2, Kyle. One is he wants to coach in the NFL. And he is on the short list of a few NFL teams.
Well, isn't Alabama an NFL team? They're like the 33rd, you know, I mean, this is the next team.
That's exactly right. Maybe that's the best way to put it. I've said that before, the 33rd NFL team. But Jim Leonhard is perhaps even the leading candidate for the Cleveland Browns. So I'm not sure that Jim Leonhard is hireable, but he's worth the call. Second minor problem is he's never worked for Nick Saban, and Saban's defensive hires have been guys that have worked in Saban's system. Yep. Leonhard does not come from the Saban system, but he is probably, if you had a vote of all college coaches, he would probably be considered the best defensive coordinator in college football, to be honest. A third name I'll throw out real quickly because it makes sense, and this guy does have a lot of experience in the Nick Saban system and is currently in the NFL, and that is Carl Scott. Former Alabama defensive back, now defensive backfield coach, I think in Seattle. Yeah. And if Carl Scott, again, no DC experience, but man, when you coach in the NFL, Kyle, it is a crash course in X's and O's. It's a crash course in learning coverages and calls. So I would say for a first-time DC, Carl Scott would have a lot under him. The years with Saban, couple years in the NFL, great recruiter. So those are the 3 names that jump out to me: Jeremy Pruitt, Jim Leonhard, and Carl Scott. But by no means will those be the only 3 considered. And I'm eager myself to hear other names, hear what's going on inside the building, and just hear general opinions from our subscribers at Bama Insider and other people in the industry and the media.
People calling for D'Amico Ryans to come back home. It doesn't seem realistic. I mean, but he clearly is a name who's done an amazing job. I clearly think he's probably the reason the 49ers still make a run at the Super Bowl, even with the 3rd string quarterback. But that's not realistic, right?
No. I can't imagine that it is for a few reasons. But here's the first. Let me give you about the first 7 million reasons. And that is D'Amico. If not this cycle, D'Amico is a slam dunk to be an NFL head coach soon. Soon may not be this upcoming season, but it would be no later than the next season. And being an NFL head coach, you know, you're talking about $6, $7, $8 million a year. Being DC at Alabama is $2 million max. So it's just the money alone, it doesn't make sense. Secondly, no experience in college. While I think D'Amico has earned the right to coach in college with 0 experience, it is still a thing, in terms of he's never recruited, know all the rules, got to pass a test before you can even work in college. I don't know that he has any, inkling of wanting to sit down and study a rule book. I just think D'Amico is on an NFL track. I would say this, Kyle, as we all know, being an NFL head coach, for most folks, doesn't tend to last very long. Right now, I would bet a serious amount of money that one day D'Amico Ryans will be either Alabama's defensive coordinator or head coach. Yeah. I think I would take that bet. I bet he is one day. I just don't think the timing is right this time around.
Hey, what's good, fam? It's Kyle Henderson. Thank you very much for watching this video. Check out our other related content right here on Bama Insider. Be sure and like and subscribe, inching closer to 100,000 subscribers right here on Bama Insider.